wifey, you know what I'm saying?
We are back.
Oh man!
You guys
Holy-
missed a killer joke from Kaz.
So, man, whew, that was good. That was good.
Thank you. I'll find another spot to pop in. Don't
I'll
worry.
set you up. All
All right,
Thanks, mate.
appreciate it. So, sitting on oversized furniture, having a chat with the cloud giant Alvitende that they have tentatively befriended, Cam has made an excuse to go use the little giant's room and is surreptitiously sending a message to her mother. What would you like to say?
So Cam, she like followed like a little unseen servant there, right, with a sheet thrown over it. She doesn't know the protocol with like being rude or not to this unseen servant, so she just kind of she's like, I'll be right back, and she just like closes the door, watching the unseen servant, and then she kind of frets back and forth a little bit about what to say, but then she clasps her pendant on her neck, and she kind of looks down at it, and she's like holding it with like her thumbs kind of, and you see her kind of like tap on it like like she's sending a message. And she says, Mother, Andrew, sorry, heard you've not been to town in years. With the dangers on the mountain, I wanted to check your safety. Please reply. And then she kind of waits a little bit nervously.
So you send that message off, and you can feel that it's delivered.
She's like relieved about that.
There's silence for a moment, just like a little bit of static. It's the three little dots are in the corner. And they stop. You hear, and then a sharp exhale, almost like a sigh, and the connection ends.
She she goes like, that's almost kind of what she expected. And she goes, well, I mean, that could be good, right? And she's just like, she paces around a little bit. This washroom, I was told, wasn't like tended to in like hundreds of years, right?
At your best estimate, yeah. Alvitende has been gone from this place for at least 2 centuries.
Yeah, pretty sure she said something about that. Cam just kind of is suddenly aware that this is kind of a gross little dingy room. And is it dark in here?
It's not, it's dim. There is a very, especially for you, very high kind of like stained glass window with a few panes that are broken, some of the wind's coming in. It's very, very dirty window, but there is enough light for you to see without needing dark vision.
Okay. So she just kind of, paces around for a little bit and composes herself. And she's going to excuse herself from the washroom and head back. But when she does arrive back, she's not as... she's not walking as confidently and looking as cheery as she normally does. There's like a little what if in the back of her mind as she comes back to her friends.
And you see, by now, or how long do you think that took?
Probably like 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, by now there's been a little bit of chatting going on. The barrel of wine that Alvitende opened up is very, very aged. It's gone corked a bit. But it is probably the best, like, several hundred-year-old wine that you've had. Turns out there is an upper limit on how long it can be aged. And she'll take a sip of it for herself and kind of puts it back down and said, well, I suppose being unattended for as long as it has been, I should be surprised that there's any left. Now, I believe when we left off, the crew had some questions that they wanted to ask her. Does anybody still remember what any of those are, or have any new ones?
Well, yes, actually. I was wondering, sorry, first off, what was your name again?
Alvitende.
That was your prompt.
Alvitende, more like al dente, because you one crisp, fine woman. Speaking of, would you if I were to procure a finer wine that hasn't aged past its best date, would you care to share with me, madam? I squeaked, looking up at her.
So I'm sorry, I got derailed by that. You're offering her some not bad wine.
Well, no, I wouldn't say fad wine. Did you say fad wine or bad wine?
Not bad wine.
Oh
Not
yeah, no,
bad.
this is the barefoot equivalent, like as in the brand barefoot equivalent of wine. Anna does not know what good wine is.
Gotcha. Well, if you and just when she speaks, this woman's like your estimate about 26 feet tall. You know, Anath comes up to approximately her ankle, and her voice just booms out, even if she's trying to be quiet. It's like her whisper is almost painfully loud.
Madam, your voice.
If you do have something better, it would be appreciated.
Let me look in my bag. Give me a moment, please. As I start looking through it.
I think we do have some wine from Silverleaf still, because we had a couple of bottles, I think.
This shit ain't a convenience. This is divine. This is. We have some the finest of Silverleaf wine. Do you speak wingdings?
I forgot about that.
As Camriel, please, the barrel or bottle. I can't remember if we took a whole barrel.
I don't think you have a barrel on you.
Yeah, it was a couple of bottles when we drank one.
Couple. Okay, perfect. We so that's enough.
It's probably
one
like
morsel for you.
Yeah, it's
And
probably
we
like a
have-
sip for her.
We have
Enough
enough
to-
for us.
Enough to fill
Well, she
a
said we
giant
drank
thimble.
one of them.
Yeah, so
But Cam
take
will
it
offer
easy,
it up.
please. We ain't got much.
She kind of comes in the room and she just kind of hands the bottle to Anath, like almost unceremoniously, and just climbs back up onto the couch.
I wish I had like those inflatable bottles.
And she reaches down with two fingers gently to grab the bottle. Uses a little bit of some sort of prestidigitation magic to pop the cork out. And just...
I try cork it with my hands. Another one. Fine vintage, yes?
Quite excellent. Much better than whatever was in that barrel. But
Those silver leaves.
Yes, well, with that resolved, I was wondering if you had seen any of the search party that had been out on the mountain.
search party. How long ago do you know if they had come up the mountain?
How, do I know that? It's been a long time.
That's fair. It would have been about 4 days ago.
Any time in the last 4 days, I believe.
Let's see if she has. Wow. There have been a number of the small folk who have been up and down the mountain over the past few days. I can't say if any of them were a search party or not. I initially interpreted you all to be interlopers into my domain.
That's fair, I suppose. I think they were beset by mountain creatures of some sort. Did you see anything of that nature?
It was specifically a yeti.
Well, I have not seen any yeti. They generally have the good sense to keep away from things larger than them. Although, in many years past, there was a yeti nest in a cave further down the mountain.
Yes, I think we came across that.
Unfortunately, if the yeti had stumbled across this group that you speak of, they likely would have been taken back for food.
Then it probably wasn't the nest that we found, right?
That nest was like pretty gory, right?
Yeah.
Oh, fair
yeah.
enough. Okay.
Well, the campsite that you found near the nest was pretty gory.
Yeah.
Right.
So one can put the two things together.
But you'd think the yeti would be there, still feasting.
Not if it was before we got there, because remember we were searching for the search party, so they must have been there well before us.
I was gonna say if it's full, maybe it's gone to its lair.
But that's what we were discussing, was whether or not that was its lair.
Well, maybe they have a
No
new
shelter.
lair.
I feel like more shelter would be.
Yeah, perhaps. There were other creatures living there. Were there not?
Yeah, there were
Those
some
mean-ass
peritons
goats.
that were living there.
Yeah. And you would think that they wouldn't have the sense to move into a yeti's lair.
Hmm.
I mean, those peritons could have been what's the word? Where the ecosystem is like they're not parasites. It's the opposite. It's the good one.
Are you talking
Well,
about a symbiotic relationship?
That's the word. Thank you. Yes.
That's like
Or an alien that did that once.
back where my parents come from. They had little fish that would clean your teeth for you.
Oh, I would not want to experience that. That does not sound pleasant at all.
I mean, it's better than having to do it yourself, I suppose.
I mean, you know what? Actually, okay. You know what? Well, when your neck of the ocean, show me these fish. I'd like to experience this. Anyone else want to be brushed by a fish?
Well, I'd be happy to show you, but there is the creature in the Narrows that stands between us and there.
We'll get that creature, and then I'll have my teeth brushed by a fish.
At the mention of the creature, Alvitende kind of rubs the side of her head a little bit. If you remember, she tried to scry on it at your behest, and it looked like she took a little bit of psychic damage and was rebuffed in that attempt.
Ah, yes. Right. Okay. I had forgotten about her, like, scrying and fortune-telling stuff.
Yes.
Sorry, I can't read chat while I'm...
Yes, that's a mistake.
Yep. Would I know that sometimes magics are limited, but you seem like a being of immense power. Would you by chance have another scry in you?
Let me think. I think she's already scried for you twice today. Let me double check.
She also saw like into your future, and you asked her.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Now that he reminded me, it all came back to me.
Let me open up her stat block here. Yeah. Say, unfortunately, much of my ability has been diminished, and she'll gesture around at the largely empty room that you're sitting in. It appears over the years my abode has been ransacked, and many of my tools that I would use to extend my own vision and to summon forth magic have been removed from my ownership.
That is unfortunate.
Yes, I have, of course, as any good wizard would, stashed some things away for safekeeping in secret places where they cannot be found, but I will need to gather some additional components and to be able to access those places. It will take me some time to start to rebuild.
If you'd like my help or our help, I'm willing to move. This is my woman's.
He just he pushes Anath forward a little bit, like take it away.
If you would like our help, madam, I would be happy to guide and lead my companions in helping you in this task.
She thinks about it for a moment and takes. She's taking very deliberately small sips of this wine so that she doesn't just drink the entire bottle all at once. Yes, I think we should work together. I think we have some things in common and similar goals, and I'm very obviously out of touch with the goings-on in and around the Bay over the last several centuries, and
definitely fit in with this group.
If I were to take more direct action in the world in my current unequipped state, it would bring unwanted attention that I might not necessarily be able to deal with. Unfortunately, there are likely still politics that I need to consider. Having a group such as you act on my behalf would be very beneficial, and of course, the more you can help me rebuild, the more I could help you.
Sounds exactly like the kind of symbiotic relationship we were just discussing.
I was actually going to say, instead of having it be a you and us, it could be a we, cohesion, union, if you will.
She just chuckles at you. Let me see here. Wait here one moment. I need to go look and see if I still have something. And she'll stand up from her chair and walk out of the room down a hallway, leaving you to your own devices for a short amount of time. Is there anything you would like to do while she's gone?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I had a question. Do you remember that robe we found in the necromancer area? The Hall of Weave professor's robe?
Vaguely?
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering if that was like a recent robe or if it looked like an older design.
Huh. Make a history check, and I'm gonna modify this DC based on the fact that you work there.
That's a 23.
Oh yeah, this is pretty recent. It's pretty recent.
That's not what I wanted. I was gonna show Alvitende if it were older.
And the design hasn't changed a huge amount over the years, but there are some subtle, like the materials that it's made out of. That sort of thing gives it away.
I wonder if she knows anything about the annexes.
Oh.
She did. You asked her about that. She used to work there.
Office lady.
She was one. I believe you discovered that she had done research there on occasion.
And then they trapped her?
Somebody did. She does not know who did it.
Oh yeah,
Probably Vamir or someone relating to Vamir.
we should get to Samir and beat him up.
Should we ask her about the other figures that were there? The other ones that are likely trapped?
What if she knows the dragon and has that
Well,
like?
that's
camp?
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We also did talk to her about a dragon, right?
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
You did. You got the name of the dragon.
Oh, that's right.
Amora Strata.
Yeah.
So,
Did she have any comments on the dragon?
What did
Lovely.
she tell you about the dragon?
the dragon called this mountain peak their home many, many years ago. Occasionally persuaded to assist someone taking a journey all the way to a Davos jewel. Something like that.
I imagine that Wade's just like reading his own notes out loud to everybody else.
You could be
And
reading
Wade.
off of the
You
foldable
do that
pet.
fast.
Oh yeah, the foldable pet. Yeah.
I can't remember. Did we give them a name?
A foldable pet? No,
Yeah.
just the little fire baby.
Yeah.
Should call him Edgy.
And they're soft quality paper. No paper cuts here.
So we're assuming that the dragon that we had was this Shinebringer.
Could be. It's not. It hasn't been explicitly confirmed.
That's what we're assuming right now.
So when we asked Alvitende, did we like specify this dragon doesn't look like an ordinary dragon?
Yeah, I think what you had determined was that the figurine that you were holding did bear when you described it to her, because you left it with the two Kenku back in town to get them to take a look at it, and based on your description of it, it sounds like it could have been a figurine representing this dragon in some fashion.
Because it wasn't like a perfect thing. Even hers didn't look perfectly like her, but there was like very specific things about it that was definitely her.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just want to get it back just in case I don't want anything bad to happen to it.
Were there undead pieces? Like, what were the other pieces?
There were a bunch of pieces. Most of I lost the entire list of pieces, but most of it was like some of the security drones and a few different pieces of structure. There was a staircase that you placed, I believe.
Wall. I still have the wall.
The wall.
Where do you
Humanoids,
put the bastard
guards.
there?
Right. So Alvitende said that she was surprised the dragon would allow the miners to work within the mountain. Perhaps whoever trapped the dragon stands to benefit the most from the mining operation.
Oh, that would make sense.
Would that
That-
mean
that-
the dragon? Dragon, you first.
That does make sense to do that, because then the biggest obstacle would be out of their way, and whoever, like, why go to all the trouble of capturing a dragon unless you had a lot to gain from it?
And Alvitende herself.
Yeah, it does seem like they targeted the mountain.
Any powerful creature on the mountain ended up trapped down there.
Well, the mountain is a fairly dangerous trek to begin with. Then you add dragons and a giant. I could see why they would do that.
But they targeted specifically the creatures that seek to protect the mountain.
Except for the goat. The goats own the mountain.
There's a cabal of goats.
Get them out of your mouth. Don't talk about them. I don't have to give them any.
Anath
okay?
still has PTSD from the goats. You can't bring them.
He did almost get pushed off the side of the mountain, by the way.
They're lucky. They're important to the ecosystem.
Do we know how recently the mining operation started?
Like, are they? And would we know if they're still going?
Yeah, they're
Well, I
definitely still going. You got sent up here by the Stone Divers Guild one of the things they wanted,
Oh, is
they
it-
requested of you was to see if you could find this search party.
Gotcha. Okay.
But who asked about the mining, the history of the mining?
Wade.
Yeah. So go ahead and make a history check for me. Why not?
While his, would I?
8.
8.
Actually, no, never mind.
So you don't know how long specifically it's been going on. You know that Sten's Gap, the primary industry there is mining, and it's a pretty old town based on the way some of the buildings look. But put a hard year on it, couldn't say.
So if we release the dragon, does that mean the dragon has wanted to go? Is probably in the mines with those miners, and those.
Are you
People
saying
were
the
trying
dragon's
to-
going to steal some children?
I don't know. Maybe. Who else can say what dragons think? But I'm just saying, if I was taken from my home and turned into a tiny piece, but then suddenly returned back into my normal form, I would want to go back home. I would want to get the. I'd want to.
Well, you're
I wanna
right,
go
and
home.
we have to consider that. I mean, Alexandra hired us to help her look after her people, and if we release this dragon, there's a good chance her people are going to disappear. I don't know what color this dragon was, but
Yo, Cam, you fuck.
White. I think it was white.
At the very least,
Not
we
white.
should probably have the dragon in our possession, especially, well, I mean, the people that we left it with, we don't really know all too well.
I'm starting to get uncomfortable thinking about that dragon being in someone else's hands.
And it's quite a journey back to town.
But do we have further business on this mountain besides whatever agreement we are making with Alvitende?
Well, not unless you want to track down the people that we believe are already not alive anymore.
I mean, I was holding out some modicum of hope that there may be at least one survivor remaining, but based on everything we've seen, it's highly unlikely.
And it is kind of dangerous to just wander around in the mountain cold. I know you don't get cold, but others here do.
That's true. And
I don't get
Yetis,
acid.
And when
I'm-
you were coming
I'm
up here, there was a
shivering right now.
perpetual blizzard, and you did experience an avalanche in the night as well.
I'm pretty
but
sure
wasn't the
even
blizzard Alvitende's doing?
It was.
So we don't have to worry about that so much, but
Well, unless she puts it there for other
Windows gonna
people.
protect me.
but she wouldn't. She would allow us passage, I imagine.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
okay.
I think when you were speaking with her, she did not realize how the activity in the mountain had changed over the years, and that there would be anyone who was non-aggressive in the radius. When you helpfully informed her of that, she turned it down a lot.
As much as I would love to help everybody, I don't know. How can we be sure where they even are at this point? All of their tracks would be covered in snow.
You're absolutely correct. Even I wouldn't be able to track them.
So we go back to town and we tell them our findings. We did find the one guy.
And he corroborates the story that the others are most likely dead. We have fulfilled the letter of our agreement.
And at this point, you can hear from some other part of the stronghold echoing down the barren hallways of loud. Found some.
I was going to wait till later. talk to just Wade about this, but maybe it's best to talk to the whole group instead in case it changes anything. But well, when I went to the washroom earlier and I tried to reach my mother who lives on the mountain. Granted, we don't have the very best relationship, so maybe this was something to not think too much about, but she only got back with maybe half a response, not even to me. I was
Maybe the
asking
blizzard.
her if she was okay.
Maybe the blizzard ruined with the signal.
Is that a thing that can happen?
Sometimes happens.
Oh.
Cam can make an Arcana check if she wants.
It's not going to be
A
very
wild
good, but she will try.
I've never heard of weather affecting
Ooh.
a spell like that.
I have a
be
minus
like- I mean,
2 in
magical.
Arcana, but I got a 19, so that's
Oh.
a 17.
Magic works
Um,
mysterious ways.
You don't. There are things that can block spells and long distance communications. A blizzard, probably not one of them.
I think maybe our magic works in different ways enough.
Maybe. I'm all about the nature, you see. So it could be.
Oh, but that
Is
that
that-
does make a little bit more sense.
I mean, aren't blizzards part of nature? Why would
Yeah,
that
no, exactly.
hinder your spellcraft?
An interference in the nature could cause an interference in nature-based magic.
Even if it was just a magical blizzard, innit? Like it's just like that's some magic that could just maybe, if it's too strong and like you're sending a baby weak spell against a huge powerful blizzard. What, like I don't know. I can't do nothing about that. You know. I don't know how to explain it to you guys.
Izzy really got to me.
Yeah, but like this goat is being an absolute bastard. Okay.
It is a good point, though.
Sorry, I didn't mean
It
to
is
break
a
the
good
fourth wall
point.
there.
Um.
I have a horse.
Well, it did sound like she tried to get back to me. She did say my name, and then it kind of sounded like she got cut off.
You can make an insight check if you want.
Do I have disadvantage because I don't know my mom? No, just kidding.
I would
That
like to
was-
impose disadvantage on myself.
That was an 8 plus 7, so 15.
It kind of sounded like someone who started talking and then wasn't sure what to say, so they
Mm.
just didn't say anything. She started to say your name. It sounded like she started to say I.
It could have also been that she doesn't know because I only recently learned this kind of magic. She doesn't really know that much about what I can do. But I just wanted to put it out there because it might be on my mind.
Well, is she okay? Is we able to?
I don't know, but I also think that the dragon situation is probably much more dire if we're concerned about that. So I should probably go check on her soon, or maybe send another message.
How
Maybe
far
what you
away
can
is
do.
she
Maybe outside
from
the
where
blizzard.
we're at?
How many days travel would it be?
So yeah, going. You need to get. The easiest way to get there would be to go back to Sten's Gap and then head out of town in a different direction.
Okay.
You kind of headed out of town north to get here, and she'd be more towards the west.
Hmm.
So it'd be 3 or 4 days to get there if nothing slowed you down.
We'd have to go back to town anyway, but about 4 days if we kept going. But then that would take us away from Crystal Harbor, right?
It would. It would take you deeper into the mountains and in the opposite direction.
Yeah, so we could definitely go back to Sten's Gap, but then it would be a decision from there whether or not we wanted to go check on her for another couple of days travel or if we wanted to go to Crystal Harbor.
But you can hear Alvitende's footsteps growing closer down the hall.
Well, we'll hear what our Lady of the Mountain has to say, and we'll decide based on what options we have before us where we go once we return.
Again, I could just send her another message when we get to Sten's Gap, and we can decide then.
That works too.
Okay. Thank you for hearing me out.
Of course. We're friends, right?
Yes, we are. And we have a new friend as well.
Future wife? Question mark.
Twice removed.
Wait, what? Your wife is removed by marriage twice?
Wait, we're getting there.
I heard.
I heard-
question mark.
Yeah, I said question mark, but I think it's funny. Twice removed, and that's saying it's just a work in progress. Is what that means.
I mean, why do you have to put a
You know-
label on something, right?
Well,
So
I
that you
mean,
know what
maybe
it is. Gosh.
it helps, yeah. But like, if she doesn't want the label, then like we're cool. I'm cool with just being her partner and her being mine. If she wills it, of course. I mean,
And
we've shared a bottle of wine. You know what I'm saying? That's part one.
But to her, that's like a thimble of wine.
That's still wine.
it's like a very
It's just-
small pour, like you might get at a wine tasting.
I wouldn't even say a thimble.
Maybe like the human size equivalent.
It's just like
of
a
2-ounce
drop.
pour.
But yeah, no. We're working on it. We're working on it.
At this point, she re-enters the room. It's
My
clutching
lady?
something in her hands. I
Welcome.
found them, and I found enough for all of you. And she sits down and she lowers her large hand so it's like into a distance close enough where you can reach to take something out of her palm. And there are just impossibly small at the
Chance.
scale of her hand. There's 4 little, it looks like lapel pins of some kind, made of silver wire in the outline of a cloud with a image that evokes not an image with a shape in the middle that invokes almost an eyeball. It's not actually an eyeball, holding a little piece of glass. And
Would I-
this go ahead.
Would I recognize that symbol?
Make a history check, why not?
I mean, she called herself the Seer in the Storm. I assume it's her particular icon.
Fair enough. She has an emblem, though, that might denote something else.
Good point.
Would I know anything about it? I don't know. Like, if, like
Did you
my
make
true
your
people.
roll?
My true people.
I got a 7. I don't think Cam
Never
knows
seen it
anything.
before.
Yeah.
Just realized I might actually need my dice at some point too.
Yeah, this symbol is unfamiliar to all of you, and she reaches down and offers them to you, and says, this is Laris put it together. This is my symbol.
Oh, did you make this fine jewelry yourself?
I did. I crafted this many years ago. They're mildly enchanted. They mark you as in my employ. You need
Well,
not
I mean,
display it visibly,
here to
but as
serve.
long as it is on your person, I
I'll wear it
can
badly.
know where you are unless otherwise blocked by magic, which also, should you choose to accept this, it will give me the ability to call you back here.
I fasten it immediately.
Lyris just kind of takes a step back and he goes, Anath, why don't you climb up there and grab that one at the back for me? And
Climb onto her hand.
as you get into her hand, he just kind of points as he's like pointing at the thing, but his point shifts to you. And I cast message, and I whisper, tell her her love line says that she's about to meet the love of her life.
I just turn around, pulling that face. as I touch her hand. Oh, Miss Alvitende. It says here your love line. I look up to her. says you're about to meet your love of your life very soon, almost as if they've just fallen into your hands, into your clutches, if you will. My jewelry, by the way, this is excellent.
You know, these pins are like about the size of a quarter. They're very small. But she'll look down at you and say, "I did not know that your people also practice divination. My reading of the love line is very different."
Interesting. Well, you see, as a druid of the stars, I look up to see the secrets of the universe and divine nature. But sometimes I look down, and I see such beautiful, pale, icy palms like yours.
So her skin is like dark purple.
Sorry, I'd like to redact my statement.
Yeah, like a pale
have
dark purple.
I've confused your beautiful skin with the night sky, which is also extremely beautiful. Yes.
It's not a bad save.
It's it's not bad, but let me see. Go ahead and make a persuasion check for me. Why not?
I think he's saying that their love is written in the stars.
Girl, I'll rewrite the stars for you.
What'd you get?
Not 20.
when you use these lines on her, she like chuckles a little bit, and it's again almost painfully loud. Says, "You are very, very, very charming, small one. And I do suggest that you save your efforts for somebody your own size."
No. It's my eyes are only for you, and the stars. But like you shine brighter than any star I could have passed my gaze on. Yes. You are the sun to my moon, if you will.
And you are very charming. And she picks you up by your cloak and picks you out of her hand and puts you back down on the couch.
This one might not be
Uh,
my heart broken.
Cam leans into Aneth a little bit and is like, "Well, it is the first day that you've met her. You know, it
That's fair.
takes a while to warm up to people in that capacity.
That's true.
Keep at it, Aneth. Especially, she's willing to call you here at any given moment if she wishes."
I go red.
I mean, don't you think she'd be able to warm him very quickly, though?
I'm sorry, what?
Wait,
you were
she's
talking
right
about
there.
Jail for all of you.
Team seduction check.
So, Lyris will get his pin off Anath at this point, I assume, and pins it like proudly right on the front of his tunic. He says, does this make us something, or what are we, the Heralds of the Storm, perhaps?
Ooh, I like that.
That is a good name. There've been a number of groups of adventurers in my employ over the years that have given themselves various names. They haven't used that one yet, though.
I like it. And she's gonna also in it.
So let me add these to your character sheets.
She has another shiny thing.
That's all Cam cares about,
Yeah,
right?
it's shiny.
Shiny, yeah. She even makes her own jewelry. That's
what got me.
Together.
I knew as soon as Kaz started asking if she made it.
Well, David said yes. David didn't need to.
Popping these onto your character sheets.
Thank you, boss.
Well, your
I forget,
character
like, how,
sheet's
like-
not done.
Yeah,
Well, let
I'll
me
put him
edit.
on roll 21. I've added it to my roll 21. I'll
Gotcha.
put it over. I also just think it's funny how, like, for like a while, like after this session, I will not like be able to drop my Anna voice. It will just be stuck. I forget how it just happens every time.
My character sheet on there isn't really fully complete either, but that's because I'm using playtest material.
But if you refresh your sheets, everybody except Kaz, you should now have the Stormseer's insignia in your equipment. Feel free to equip it if you would like. Now, there are many things I could use your assistance with. There is part of my fortress that is missing.
Oh.
And I have been able to locate it. It is buried under a glacier some distance from here. Would be starting with retrieving my tower would be the most immediately beneficial thing to increasing the amount of assistance I can give to you.
We'll bring it here brick by brick. And it says...
Question.
Yeah.
Retrieve your tower.
That is
Yes.
what I was going to say. I don't know that I can carry a tower.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
we
I
move
think
it
I
brick
could
by
carry
brick.
1/4 of the tower.
It's,
Oh no, guys, one brick. That's all you need.
I've buried the lead. It can fly.
Oh,
Is that like a flying fortress?
Just the spire
tower.
of one tower of a fortress.
Interesting. I have never seen such magic. Is this common where you come from, Wade?
I mean, I have a spell that can make people fly, but
Oh, yeah, that's how I
I've
got
never-
onto the door, wasn't it?
didn't
I
we
thought-
throw you onto the door?
Yeah.
Did you
didn't
throw me?
Cam
I thought I
throw you?
flew.
Oh, Cam threw you,
Cam threw you at
Chucks
the
you.
door.
and you just like face planted on the door.
No, sorry, ignore me. Then I redact anything I just said, except for the brick by brick bit.
Sorry, you hit the door pretty hard. You probably have your memories a
I
little
hit-
bit jumbled.
I fell hard if
Jumping
you know
into
what I'm saying.
doors, jumping through the wrong window.
He's a head first kind of guy.
okay. So is there anything that we need to know about how to fly it? Are we're flying it back? Is that what you want us to do?
Yes, I'm certain that it will need repairs. It may not be in operable condition at the moment, but I can give you something. If it hasn't been recharged in several hundred years, it is almost certainly without enough energy to be able to take flight. In fact, it would not be buried under a glacier. Normally, it hovers in the air when it is unattended. And please bear with me a moment. It has been some time since I've done this. She brings her hands together and seems to focus on something, and she brings her palms apart, and a little spark of lightning like jumps between both of her palms, and she appears to be giving a great amount of focus as she's manipulating this spark of lightning and pulls it out, draws it out longer, grasps onto it, and this chants. Nobody speaks giant, do they?
No.
Yeah.
It's a good question. Hold on.
Let me see the shit. No.
No.
I actually speak the opposite of giant.
She's chanting something in a language that you're unfamiliar with, and this lightning solidifies into what appears to be a very large, it's about the length of a sword, but it has the structure of a key where the blade of the key looks like a lightning bolt.
Oh,
Keyblade.
that was very cool.
A marvelous feat of magic there,
This
madam.
should store enough energy in it to get it back up in the air long enough to fly back here.
Okay. I'll take the key from her.
It's about the size of a long sword in your hands.
I put it on my back with my war pick then. Or my war hammer.
Out of curiosity, If Cam were to use it as a weapon, would it be something magically static?
That is an interesting question, isn't it? Are
I think
you
you
asking
are.
me or are you asking her?
Madam, should we come into the requirements of needing the key blade for self-defense? Sorry, the key. If we start swinging it, would you be able to protect us with your divine, powerful magic?
If you were to use this as a weapon, it would doubtlessly be effective. However, it may damage it in such a way that it would no longer be operable for returning the tower to flight.
You know,
Oh,
we don't want
that's
to lose the
bizarre.
charge of it.
Never mind. I
But it would be a very powerful weapon should you use it that way. For a short
Now,
amount of time, it's not... I can make another one. It is not worth your life to not use this, if that makes sense.
That's the
Is
sweet
that
thing you
only-
ever said to me.
Sorry.
Is that only implying that we blunt force trauma? Like, what if we were to hold it against something?
Or insert it into something.
I can make a stabby stab with it.
What are you guys talking about? We don't want to use up the charge that is enough to get us
Just a
back
thought
here.
experiment. I have
Yes.
these, and he like draws his two swords halfway. I have no need for such a thing.
It's
What
just
if
on the
you were to
on the
hold it
extreme
against
off chance.
those so that they would hold the charge?
Or if someone stole it from us and tried to attack us with it.
Why you gotta say something like
I
No, I'm
advise keeping
I'm
a
just
close
saying.
eye on it.
It's
Oh, don't
on
worry,
Cam's
my
back.
lady.
I don't think anyone's getting that.
when I haven't got eyes on you.
that? No, it's
They'll be
too
on the-
pretty. She'd never let it go.
It's very pretty.
Point. It's good. It's
It is. It looks like kind of like has a pearlescent sheen to it, and it's made of almost a blue tinted metal. That's what it appears to be made of.
What if you got to give it back? Then, like, what if Cam doesn't give it back and she turns evil?
A lot of eventualities to consider, but I detect the presence of no evil or ill intent in this one. She gestures towards Cam.
And she can see the future, so she would know if I was trying to trick her.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right then.
We'll find you.
Was there other things that you wanted us to look into while we were on the road?
That would be the most immediately useful large action. I would retrieve it myself, but it is buried under ice, and I believe there may be some tunnels in the ice that you could crawl through to get to it, but it's too large for me to access. I would have to dig through the ice.
And what is the best path there? Would you suppose?
It is. I'm going to look at my map of the area because I know where it is. But I have 87,000 tabs open.
It'd be really awkward if you didn't know where it was.
On
I know,
Freeze
right?
Mountain Peak.
It's that direction. Maybe.
It is located at. It is near the top of a mountain south of Sten's Gap, one of the taller snow-capped peaks in the area. And she can describe to you approximately where it is.
I have a note here I'm trying to find.
Well, thank you. We can definitely look for that. It is on the way of where we are headed.
South of the gap is where we're headed. Well, that is, I mean, the gap's still on our way, and that works out quite nicely.
Especially if we go to Crystal Harbor after that. Unless the dragon thing is more urgent. I don't know.
The dragon is in Crystal Harbor.
Crystal Harbor.
I
Yep.
see. Well then, if we managed to bring the tower back to you, would you be able to quickly leave us in Crystal Harbor somehow? I don't know how the tower works or your magic, for that matter.
It would depend on what state of repair it is in when it gets back here.
Understood. All right. Well then, first things first. Sten's Gap, then the tower. Oh, you said you're missing a lot of your personal affairs here. Would we have any way of recognizing anything of yours were we to come across it?
Some of my more potent pieces of arcana that I have worked do bear my mark that matches the one on your jacket lapel. That would be a good way. Apart from that, it'd have to be on an item-by-item basis, but if you do happen to keep an eye out for that symbol on anything, bringing it back here would be much valued.
Absolutely. Anything
I fear over the years things probably have gone far from here, and I suspect that some of my effects have made their way to the bottom of the bay.
Well, I could help you with that as well.
Well, you can swim.
More than that, I can live underwater for, well, forever, really, should I choose to do so.
Do your people still maintain an outpost near Harbor Watch?
Where is Harbor Watch?
It's the little island that's kind of a little
In the
bit out
bay.
in the middle of the bay.
I believe we do, don't we? I think we did.
You can tell me.
Yeah. Yes, I'm pretty
That's-
sure. Yeah, my family used to spend a lot of time in the bay as well. So yes, much of my family is unfortunately no longer with us, but some of my extended family still inhabits the bay, and I'm sure I could employ some of them to help scrape the bottom for whatever you're missing.
I need to do some more divining to locate my various effects, but should any of them end up where I think they might be, I will call upon you.
All right then. That's agreed. I'm happy to help out wherever I can. Besides, I probably should check in on my family. It's been 12 years or so.
Oh, I thought I was gone long.
That's a number of years.
Well, my mother doesn't want to be near the bay anymore.
No.
Well, you're not near the bay.
Well, I've seen my mother more recently. It's my extended family that still lives in the bay.
Oh, so your mother is still alive.
She should be. I'd be rather distraught to find out she isn't.
That's understandable.
But
That's good.
she believes that I'm still working as law enforcement within Crystal Harbor.
Oh. Is there some reason you didn't tell her you weren't?
Yes, there is.
So, what is it?
I'm not sure now's the time entirely.
Oh, am I doing that thing again where it's not a... I got it. Okay.
I take no offense. It's just we have other things to focus on at the moment.
And we've only known each other for a few days now. I've been told that's not long enough to ask somebody their life story.
Well, I mean, depends on the situation. To be fair, like if you're under the stars and you're having a really deep conversation, sometimes it comes out, you know.
He's looking at the giant while saying this.
To be honest, you're the first group of people I've spent more than a couple of minutes with in the past few years that I haven't had to either kill or take to prison. So
It was very
Um,
close, though.
it was very close. It was very close. And I'm not sure I would have come out on top of that exchange, though I probably would have.
I don't think that's.
Oh, if you hurt Wade, I would not have hesitated to hurt you right back.
I understand that, but I have tactics when fighting groups.
Oh, that's interesting.
PvP.
She's definitely like
Just a
not
flashback
even.
just happens.
She's definitely not
fight.
even like trying to be threatening or anything. She's like, this is a matter of factor.
As it is to him, he's not trying to boast or anything either. It's just like, yeah, I would try to kill all of you if I had to.
Nath already damaged himself in that.
Yeah, yeah. Nath was practically out of the fight before it even began.
Oh, Lord.
Injured himself
Out of
jumping
range
through a
of
window,
me.
was in a completely different room, had no idea what was going on.
All you would have had to do
Oh.
is
And you
because
might-
he was in a different room to just use your like wind magic to shut the door.
Well, he's trying to pull. It's a push door. He's
It was beautiful.
He's never seen this technology. It's too much for him.
Everybody in Luz Bialy uses bead curtains for doors.
That's too much. You don't understand us.
Oh my! I've completely lost my train of thought now.
That's okay.
Oh, we were talking
We're going
about
to be a little
Karen.
rusty. Anybody who's joining us late, we haven't played this particular campaign in 10 months, so
Mm.
got to get some of the sillies out. We will never run out of them, but they have been building up.
Yeah, we got a backlog of sillies. We gotta.
Yeah. But it is getting on in the afternoon now. You climbed a mountain today. Alvitende offered you to stay in her stronghold. It's not super well apportioned. Most of the furniture is missing. But it is indoors. It is warm, and there is a large, very, very large couch that would be more than big enough for all of you to have your own private cushion and have it be larger than a king-size bed.
Nice. Well, I am getting a little bit tired. It was a long journey through the mountain, and I did use some of my magic.
Seems like I'm fine, but
You should probably rest.
If we want to rest, we can do that.
It will be dark
he just falls
before
asleep.
you're able to get back to town. You would most likely need to rest on the mountain if you left right now.
Hmm.
If we leave early enough.
Which, and you can totally do.
Go on.
You expect? Oh, sorry. I mean, like if we just get a quick rest, sleep up as soon as sun up, we say our goodbyes, make our way down, reunite with little Joe, and then get on our way.
You sure you're ready?
That way,
to say
we're not
goodbye?
like. He touches the lapel. I'll never need to say goodbye again. I look up to her when I say that. Wink.
She's not looking at you.
I do it anyway.
That's the best response to that.
And Nest's lapel isn't even magical. It's
This is just a regular one.
It's just a bit of tinfoil wrapped around the coin.
Yeah,
or
it's like
something.
that's why she was gone for 10 minutes. She was just holding one that was non-magical.
Well, guy, but he
Well,
loves
I'll
her, you know.
if we're getting some rest, then I'll take this cushion here. It looks roughly the size of a king.
That's a rude implication there. He's
What
saying
a
there's no king-size pillows.
strange way to put that. You
I mean, it
often
looks-
measure kings.
You don't have that expression where you're from?
Because all of the kings are rectangular.
And very large.
Well,
where am-
our
Means
Our
they're well
king.
fed.
out Well, you know, beyond the bay, there is another body of water. I'm not sure what your people call it, but we've always
ocean.
called it. Oh, now I can't find it.
You should probably should have queued that up first.
I thought I had.
We were talking
called
about it
And then-
earlier.
the
And then David
Illumis
deleted
Inlet,
it.
and it's a much larger bay than this one.
Sorry,
And
what do you call it? I missed
the
that.
Illumis Inlet.
Oh, that's pretty
Is-
good.
You see, the waters there have a way of refracting the light that makes everything seem sort of like a rainbow.
How do you set
Oh.
the endless gimlet?
That's interesting.
Go for a gimlet.
But our king lives there, and he is very large. And so when you have like a very large thing that's beneficial to you, like a large bed, for example, you would say this is roughly the size of the king.
Oh,
Oh, I see.
I'm
I-
not sure I'd use
I
that
ju-
expression, but
I just
each to their
start
own.
patting. Oh, this rug here is fit for a king, and I just start curling up on it, getting ready to sleep. Am I using it? That's how I'm using it, right?
Well, no, it's about his immense size. More like this. I'm so hungry I could eat a feast the size of the king.
I don't know, man. This is a big floor.
I did hear a similar expression like that about a horse. I don't think we should have that as part of our vocabulary with little Joe.
You can hear some distressed braying from back in town.
They're gonna eat me.
But
That's
sorry,
why they've been feeding me
I
all
feel
these oats.
I feel like I've derailed our conversation yet again, and
Nah, it's cool, darn. It's nice learning about your culture, and, like getting closer to you and becoming lifelong friends, and hearing these deep conversations. One step closer to learning more about your family and you, and sharing these deeper moments. You know, that's how you do it, Cam. That's how you get a deeper bond with someone.
Oh, I will take note of that.
Just
These
writing a
moments are-
book on friendship.
yeah, you have a very interesting take on relationships. I'll give you that.
I live with my heart on my sleeves.
He says with no sleeves.
Well, where are you keeping your sleeves?
Well,
That's the question, isn't it?
I believe that you had bought some cold
Somewhere
weather
in-
gear.
I did get cold weather clothes for this, but even then, my natural attire is
Just
my-
pulls the sleeves off of the jacket.
yeah.
Yeah, immediately.
It's those kind of like that you can zip off.
It's just he just got a down vest.
Use just for this, and then you go and ruin it all.
Like he's from Montana. Just
Yeah.
the vest. That's all you
Just a
need.
down vest. That's it.
Never using that expression again. It's Mom. Now you ruined it, Lyris.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be.
I was just curious about your culture as you were about mine.
No, yeah, no, like I appreciate it. Like, I'm willing. Like he goes to clasp your hand. I'm willing to talk and share about this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, he
Um,
definitely sticks his hand out.
He grabs it with both hands. It's a big hand compared to yours. I mean, your hand's big compared to his. Sorry. Yeah. Well, okay then. I like to put my not emotions first, but what's the word? If only I had sleeves for this. There's no expression I can really think of. But
Maybe the hem of your shirt.
I wear my emotion on the hem of my. It doesn't roll off the tongue. Cam.
Doesn't have quite the cadence.
How about
Yeah.
you pin your emotions to your lapel, or you pin your heart to your lapel?
That's good. I like that one. That's a good one. That's good. That's good.
You
You
can
guys
use
are-
that.
You're almost as good as Wade is at
It gives you a
making up
hug.
all these expressions.
Oh really, Wade? You have good expressions as well.
Wait, bro, where you leaving this
This one
hanging?
right
Why you
here.
even giving us expressions?
Well, why don't you tell me one?
See, it's been a while. I'd have to.
Oh, I like the sound
Oh.
of that. It's been a while.
I thought he was saying
You have to
It's been a
say it like this.
while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. With the finger pointing at waggle as well.
Yes.
Is
could you
there
make an
anything
example?
else anyone would like to do?
While we're walking and
He's like,
talking.
stop.
We're talking while we're trying to go to sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
talking while we're sitting up.
we're going.
You can do the walking one. this
You know, like at a slumber party when you guys are all like on the floor and you're talking in the dark, right, as you go to
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
That's
and then
what
there's
it's
that
like.
long silence because everyone's actually trying to go to sleep, and then someone
Are you
pipes up
asleep?
with another joke.
My boy, Nathan, don't shut up.
It's very much nailing that energy right now.
David's been eager to move the scene on for ages.
he had a bunch of stuff planned and we've gotten like none of it.
We've had a 5-minute conversation, then fucked around for the rest.
Oh
of the
no, I
time.
know you people. This is about how far along I thought we'd be right now, so I'm getting better at this.
Excellent.
Nice. All right, then yeah, I have nothing else. I'm going to sleep.
I'm
Right.
also going to sleep.
So as you all bed down for the evening, after a long trek up the mountain in the cold, through a blizzard, through some goats.
Through the go.
Yeah, there's some goats. Sleep does come to all of you, and Cam, you find yourself in a dream in the middle of the night. You find yourself sitting comfortably in a clearing in the middle of somewhere, you're not sure where, in the shifting wood. Back up against a tree, soft moss underneath you, and you can see the trees on the other side of the clearing, something moving off in the distance, and it's not something, it's more of a color approaching you as all the trees on that side of the clearing slowly take on a golden hue in the bark and the leaves, and a man with long golden hair and just glowing golden eyes, a white shirt, emerges from the trees, and you see standing before you at the other side of this clearing your father, Cathmore. And we're going to go on a break right now and deal with the rest of that when we get back. Hi!
That looked pretty slick on stream, not gonna lie.
Damn, clip it.
Welcome back. Hope everybody had a good break. Snacks, drinks, whatever else you want. We're going to jump right back into the action with Camriel having awoken in a dream in a glade in the shifting wood with her father emerging from behind some trees.
Cam is, well, for one, she really enjoys the shifting wood, so she was feeling definitely relaxed in the dream. And when she sees this color moving towards her, her like heart kind of like skips a beat, and she feels a little bit nervous before her father emerges, and she's going to stand up, and she kind of like tries to make sure she's presentable. She's like, "Oh, father,
Camriel.
what are you doing here?" She's like suddenly aware that she's might be asleep.
I came to see you. I know that you tried to reach out to Andrea today and that she did not respond.
Yes, I will be honest, I wasn't really expecting her to. Though asking her if she was okay and not hearing back about that is causing me some concern.
She is. He's got. He's giving this like very fatherly smile, very warm and comforting, but there's a little hint of melancholy around the eyes. She is unharmed. He's traveled beyond my sight to the west. And I know you are concerned about her. It was very kind of you to reach out. She is quite alive. It was very important to me that you know that.
Oh, that is very unlike her to do so. I didn't even know that it was possible to go beyond your sight.
I have become somewhat stretched thin over the years. I used to be able to project my vision much farther. As the wood has grown, somewhat ironically, I'm sorry, I should start at the beginning. I have slightly not been entirely forthcoming with you. I know you've described me as an angel. That's not entirely true. I am celestial. That's to be certain, but I am the spirit of the shifting wood. The wood shifts under the colors of the wood shift is the manifestation of the power that I have been tasked with overseeing. And now that Andrea has left the wood, I can no longer keep a tab on her. But we do still have a connection. And the connection is still active, and she is not harmed. I would be able to tell, even now.
She goes through like a range of emotions, but most of them remain pleasant. It's almost like a practiced thing that she does, that she's learned to do over the year. And she just like, you're not an angel. You're
Not
still
technically.
The powers that I have, are they similar? Do they come from you, though?
He smiles. He looks at you with like. It feels like he's looking at you with a little bit of pride. It depends on how you mean that question. I do not grant you your powers. Your powers are your own, for the most part. But I believe it is through your connection to me that you're able to access them.
She seems like she wants to ask something, but she like kind of tucks that thought away. And then she just like lets it out. She's like, she pulls it back and then she kind of, does that mean that I could one day be like you?
Good question. You are already like me in many ways. How? What do you mean? In which way?
Well, you seem to have the ability to grant, or I mean, I guess I never really asked how I came to be. She's now just like on a tangent thought, and then she goes, I guess I'm just wondering if I could be at your power level one day, or even beyond that. Can you get stronger?
he's like getting ready to go into when an ancient forest spirit and a sculptor spend a lot of time together on the side of a mountain. No. Hey, what are you? My dog's doing something. Anyway, says I do not know what potential you have yet to unlock within yourself, although I suspect you have much more that you could cultivate within yourself. I can become stronger. I have only, though, become weaker over the years as the forest has spread. Somewhat ironic, as the city of Crystal Harbor has waned in power, so too has their need for lumber, and this is sort of a symbiotic relationship. And my purpose here is to give the woods their ability to assist people in tracking and being secure from threats. And as the wood has gone bigger, I have become more dispersed.
Is that something that I could help with? Is that a bad thing? Will you eventually lose all your power if you're spread too thin?
I will. He pauses for a moment. Says, "I will never lose all of my power. I will have continually diminishing resources with which to do anything else. And it may become a point where I am extended to the degree that the forests can no longer expand.
Oh.
However, I will be fine. It's a different sort of existence that I have."
Okay. Should I check in on Mother? She like kind of isn't sure if she should say that.
I assume you mean physically.
Yes.
I will not stop you. I have not spoken with her in some years. I've not been able to contact her since she left.
Oh. Are you aware of when she left exactly?
He thinks for a moment, says, it was roughly 2 winters ago.
I see. So not long after I left home.
No, not long at all.
Okay. What should I do with all this?
You may do with this whatever you like. It will... If she's gone to the other side of the mountains, you know, there's a great swamp on the other side. It is hazardous to traverse.
Oh.
She is... As I can still detect her presence, albeit as weakly as I am able, has traversed it, is traversing it. I know not what her business was.
Well, you keep me updated if something severs that connection.
I will as soon... should that come to pass, I will notify you. I will come back and reach out to you in the same way. It's been increasingly difficult for me to manifest in this fashion.
Okay. Well, that really sucks about the woods.
It's ironic, is it not?
You would think you would grow more in power, but I guess it makes sense if you are the one giving it its abilities to do what it does. That's very pretty, by the way. I always felt this special connection to the woods. And now I know why.
And I see that a love for pretty colors and all things shiny run in the family.
She kind of just like gestures at her clothing. Well, thank you for looking out for me. She
Here,
seems to like have some sort of double meaning to that.
I have something for you. And he'll walk up to you, and he's holding something in his hands, and if you let him, he'll reach around the back of your neck and like affix a necklace onto you.
Yeah, she definitely does, and she moves her hair and stuff out of the way for it.
Something small, just a token of. I've never gotten my daughter a present.
I've never gotten a present from a parent before. And she looks down at it, and
It's a very. It looks like someone has taken an acorn, hollowed it out, plated it with gold, and turned it into a bell.
she thinks that's very cool. She definitely looks like she's like kind of teary-eyed at the moment and unable to figure out how to respond to this. And then she was just like, thank you again. If there is anything that I can do, please do let me know. I would like to help if I can.
He smiles placidly at you. Says, "We'll speak again. I'm not able to maintain this much longer. It's easier for me to manifest this way while you're within the wood."
Of course. You go. I will probably wake up now. She's just like expected.
Just be well, daughter.
You too,
And-
Father.
And he turns around and walks into the woods and the glowing of the trees, and you can kind of make a perception check for me. Actually.
That is a 16.
16. As he walks into the wood, you can see just through some of the trees, you can see his form shift into no longer a humanoid form. Seems to adopt. It's kind of hard to make out as he's walking away and fading, but you think he looks like, as he's walking away, a large sort of. Is it a, what is this? Is that a horse? No, it's got a horn on it. His legs appear to be grown up with briars and brambles all the way up to like the haunches, and you just get a slight glimpse of that as he fades out and you're left in the clearing.
I think Cam would then just kind of taking all that in, sits down, and she probably just watches over the woods for the rest of her dream, and holding on to the necklace that he gave her.
It's you can't tell what time of day it is in here, but it's there's a light breeze, it's warm, it's comfortable. Very pleasant place to be for the rest of your night.
All right.
And the evening passes, and anybody who stirs throughout the night can hear distant sounds of Alvitende working on something. Nothing loud enough to specifically wake you up. It passes largely without incident. We wake up well rested in the morning.
And when Cam wakes up, the necklace is on her.
It's on here, and if you refresh your character sheet, it'll be there too.
Ooh, shiny.
Damn, she can all this shiny shit.
Yeah.
She's me walking around, but
Yeah. Good thing she already has disadvantage on stealth.
Super disadvantage. It's like the opposite of elven accuracy, but just on stealth.
During the daylight, she'll blind her opponents.
Yeah, right. I'd like to cast Disco Ball.
just being around her deals 5d6 radiant damage.
Yeah.
And you're
Perception checks made within 10 feet of Camriel are made with disadvantage.
I would like to make breakfast. We're in the woods right now, though, right? We're not in.
No, you're in Alvitende's castle.
Oh shit! Sorry, I thought
Wait,
I didn't realize that was part of the dream suit. I thought we were already down the mountain. I thought we just sped past.
No.
When David said you went through the goat, I'm like, what?
Oh, that was to get up here.
I see. I'm sorry. I never ignore that.
We're good.
I would offer to make breakfast for everyone, including Alvitende. Alvitende, sorry.
There's a cauldron of infinite pasta hanging over the fire. Breakfast is not necessary.
Oh, I get. Would you like me to cook you a fine hearty meal for the start of your day?
She's not in this room with you currently. She's left you all to your own devices, and she is elsewhere.
Redact my statement. I lie. Actually, I wake up to talk to her, but I realize she's not here. No.
Enough.
Yeah. Sorry, sleep talking.
I think you're flirting in your sleep.
No, me? Flirting? No. No.
Or you spent most of the evening yesterday doing so.
I mean, where do you think it gets all this practice,
Oh, I suppose that's a good use of your sleep time.
Sleeping's for sleeping. I'm out like a rock.
Sleeping can be for other things, like getting presents. She holds this new necklace.
Where did...
Wait,
That's
You
just
didn't have
dreaming you had
that-
a birthday.
sorry, what? What?
I don't get presents in my state, because this...
What do you mean
Yeah, I
sleeping
don't
is for getting presents? That doesn't make any
You
sense.
sleep to get to the present and walk past the past, Oh, sorry, go to the future. Live through the present. Sorry, no, it's a metaphor.
Is there something like... Do only special people get presents in their sleep, or I don't...
Cam, can you explain what you're talking about, please?
Nice necklace, by the way.
Thank you. Well, Lyris, I guess you have been curious about my father anytime I've mentioned him.
Yes, it's quite puzzling. I'm very curious.
Well, from what I understand, well, actually, I found some new understanding. I had thought that my father was an angel, but I was told just last night that he is, while celestial, is more of a spirit that has a task here on in the shifting wood.
Well, what kind of task?
Well, you've been there, right? You've seen how it changes colors.
Yes, it seems to react to the different types of creatures that are present.
Yes, it's him that grants the woods that ability.
What's the task?
Well, various things. It helps people to track creatures more easily through the woods. For one, I have always found it very soothing and calming and pretty. Does that count as a task?
I guess so. Oh. And maybe we should ask him next time.
Well, I think his task is to continue to do that, but it's becoming more and more difficult for him. It's
Say why?
the woods are expanding, with the city needing more and more resources. They have to replant so that they can have more and more lumber, and well, it's too much to take care of.
I don't know if Cam, I want to make sure I explain this clearly. It's that the city needs fewer resources and hasn't been cutting trees as much anymore. But
Then
if that's
shoot.
how Cam took it, that's fine.
There's too much. There's too much wood right now, and he's spread thin because of that.
I see.
He's not like some
Is-
all-powerful being, He does have limits.
Does he want there to be less woods? Is that what he was saying?
Well, I had hoped that he would ask me to do something about it, but he didn't seem to need my help.
That's just the way parents are.
Anyway, he gave me this. Like, gets back to the point of the... And when I woke up from the dream, I had it on my possession.
That's very interesting. I've never heard of someone getting a gift in their dream and it coming through to this
That's-
reality.
Well, how many people do you know whose parents are celestial beings, though?
I suppose one.
Oh. Who is this other person?
There is no other person.
You said there's you know one.
Yes, I know one. It's Cam.
He starts to hang on his fingers.
One.
What comes after 0?
Yeah, no, Anath, just use that finger to point to Cam and you got it.
There you go. I know I just look like a tall lady, but there is more to me than that.
I'll have you know, all tall ladies are angels. So,
I don't think that's true.
You should use that line on Alvitende.
Are you sure? I mean,
It's factually incorrect. It might,
yes.
That's not compute.
Go on the lyrics. hit
Well,
hit
you
me
see,
with those hard facts.
Alvitende is what
An
we
angel,
would call
yes.
a giant, and
A giant angel.
oh, I see what you're doing. Okay.
See, I got you there. I got you that.
You get a rolled up newspaper for this guy.
This guy. Kill him with that.
so our plan is to go to Sten's Gap and collect, and then go. Were we going to the glacier next? Was that our?
Yeah, Glacier's
Yes.
next.
I almost forgot an important part of the dream. I think our plans are a little bit more clear on what we're doing about my mother as well. He came to me to tell me that she was fine, though she did leave the woods, which is not like her. She spent most of her time shut away there, aside from when she had to go to town.
I had thought you told us already that she went to the west.
Did I?
I have a note about it.
The place where she lived was to the west of Sten's Gap, but she left the forest entirely going west.
Yeah, she's gone now. She's like going towards where her other game is.
She is that based
knew
on the line that was described to you by your father, Cathmore. Yeah, she is heading kind of in the general direction of Yonora.
All right.
At least she was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well,
So we don't have to go there. He's going to tell me if anything changes, and that'll be a much longer trip. That'll take away much of the time. So yes, we should go to Sten's Gap and then
south
elsewhere.
to the glacier. All right. We should be on our way then.
Anything else you'd like to do before you head out, or are you leaving?
I imagine we just have breakfast and then, unless Anath wants to say more to Alvitende.
I did promise we'd leave as soon as I would give a very long, heartfelt goodbye, but then it would end with, "But we're not really saying goodbye, are we?"
It would be us pulling
Yeah.
him like away after.
Come on, we have to get back to Little Joe before before the week's out.
Oh, little Joe! I'm sorry, my lady. My horse needs me.
Very well. A safe journey.
I present you my heart. That's what that means.
Thank you for your patronage.
Thank you for your assistance.
We are here to serve.
Oh, did we? We talked to her about the dragon, right? Did we tell her that we had the miniature dragon?
I think you described it to her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Last
that's what led
session.
her to say it might be that other dragon.
Yeah. We did have a discussion
Yeah.
about it.
Would it be a good idea to do the same thing to the dragon, that release the dragon?
Well, remember the whole thing where we don't want it to come and kill all the miners?
Aren't most of them? Are they still on the mountain? Are they still mining?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I guess that's. That was a conversation we had. Yes.
Was a little bit ago. It's only
We can
last
collect
night.
our
Come
money.
on.
We can collect our money and then release it. There we go.
Yeah.
Still not. I don't. No.
Well, you did want to train against powerful creatures so that you would be strong enough to. What was it? How did you put it again? Like, reclaim your family's honor or something like that.
Though it's a legacy.
It's honor was definitely how I described it, though hearing it back I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't be so grandiose about things.
Why not?
Yeah, dream big.
Aim for the stars, as an ath would say, I imagine.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's a very
You're not
important
alone.
and dangerous task that's ahead of me, and it's more important than just my honor. So
You're not alone. And like, if we go out and get some more experience and learn how to fight big things, maybe you'll feel a bit more confident about yourself, and maybe even having some best friends to join you on that task.
that would be nice, though I might feel guilty if I lead you all to your death.
No. This is a
We
decision
made a
that
choice.
we've made. We made it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't let that weigh on your conscience.
Besides, I wasn't doing anything anyway.
Can please.
We're not ready yet, either way. So let's shelf this conversation while we're making our way down the mountain.
Let's go.
I assume we're walking and talking.
Making my way.
Yes, yes.
I would
Way
suggest
downhill.
a toboggan or some kind of
Whee!
sled.
Do you know how to make a toboggan or become
Yeah,
one?
Who's got an axe? Cut down the nearest tree, cut it in half, everyone grab hold.
Just sliding down a mountain on half a
Yeah.
tree.
I don't think that's going to end well.
I mean, it has just as much steering capability as a toboggan.
What we do is we're pretty skilled at like thinking on
There
our
were
feet.
some pretty steep cliffs that required us to climb up ropes, and
Well, like we can just stop when we get there and then climb down rope and then continue back down.
So
Or we use it as like a ramp.
the trek down is much easier than the trek up with gravity on your side and the blizzard having cleared thanks to your intercession with the giant causing it. And unless you intend to stop or do anything on the way, you can make it back to town largely without incident
Nice.
into the late afternoon, just as the sun is starting to set.
but during that time, anytime there was like some sort of slope that looked like it wasn't going to lead to certain death, I think both Cam and Enough tried to find a way to toboggan down
Oh, for
nearby
sure.
things.
I'd like to imagine it would be like, and that starts it off like the entire walk down is him trying to justify the toboggan, and halfway down it is Cam's like, actually, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
He's talking sense. This one.
So you're on a
But, like-
train talking about how you should have flown, and everyone else agrees just as the train arrives in the
Yeah.
station.
So like for the last like minute or so, they get to actually do the toboggan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Come on, guys. I'd like to imagine though, to be fair, Anna has like slid down some of the
Oh, for sure.
to like as an example of what like it would be like. You want me to roll a deck save for that or anything?
Just make an acrobatics check just for fun.
Come on, that one.
He just dies.
That is a 6 plus my acrobatics. Where is that? Oh fuck. That's 9.
Hey,
Sounds like
you
it could be.
you slide down a hill, and it stops a little bit more abruptly than you thought, and you just there's a small drop that you fly off the edge of and just land hard right on your tailbone. But it
Ooh.
was fun before that part.
Yeah.
It's like falling down a mountain never hurt anyone. It was suddenly becoming stationary at the bottom of one that does all the damage.
So as we arrive in Sten's Gap,
Yes.
Lyris is going to point out that we actually have 2 stops to make. Alexandra Caspary of the Stone Divers has a reward for us, and Thembus Shunklamo has
Hold on.
1,000 gold for us.
It's like,
For
let's just fancy Timothy Chalamet. Sorry.
Timothy Shunklame.
Timothy
There we
Shunklamo Shimmy Shimmy. But he has 1,000 gold for us for stopping the blizzard as well.
Correct.
So do
We
we
can
want
roll
to
in
split
there,
up,
guys.
cover more ground?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's going to see Thembus and who's going to see Alexandra? I know where Cam's going.
I'm going to see Alexandra.
I feel like the smartest choice would be split both Cam and Anatha, but I also think it's funny.
All right, I'll go with Cam then. That's probably true.
Lyris knows they can't be together. They're too stupid.
Yeah, I'll go
Did you
see,
guys get
I'll
the
go see
reward?
Fembus.
What reward? She gave us a shiny rock.
Let's see, what was...
And then I'm with Wade.
All right.
Anyone in particular who wants to see who?
Going to see Fembus.
All right. So we'll
Fembus.
do team Gnome first.
I'm a halfling, by the way.
Well, Thembus is a gnome.
Oh, so. Oh no. Oh, was he the one I fucking killed when I opened the door?
No, that was a different one.
That was a
no,
different gnome. But yeah, Thembus, she is the assistant to the mayor. Her technical title is archivist. Don't know exactly how old she is, but she's old even for a gnome, and smelled of petrichor.
That's quite nice.
I don't know what petrichor is.
That's the
It's
way that it smells.
rain on
when it-
grass.
Yeah, just like a light
so
rain.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So it smells wonderful.
It's
From
delightful.
nature.
Yeah.
That just always smells like petrichor. Yeah. So as you make towards the outskirts of Sten's Gap, you split up. Two of you head off towards the city hall where you met Thembus, and two of you head off towards the tavern where you met Alexander Caspary. And we'll follow our two party members who are going to meet Thembus. As you enter into the city hall, which is an old wooden building, post and beam construction, wattle roof, or the kind of roof you'd see on a wattle and daub building. Thatch, that's the word I'm looking for. There we go. This positively ancient gnome sitting up on this very high chair behind this desk. There's no way that her feet are touching the ground. Just looks up at you from behind these big glasses. You're back!
You have
Yes.
returned. Have you seen the mountain?
I have! I take it that means you've been successful. We couldn't see it before.
We have been successful, yes.
Excellent! That's excellent. What was going on?
A giant has returned to take their place among the
Giant?
mountains. They used to live there, and they were on a vacation.
Yes, but they're not harmful. They're not a problem. They are sweet and kind and lovely, and they're and there's a promising future there. I think personally.
Wait, can you make a deception check? I'll give you advantage since Anath is helping.
I'm not good at those. I'll roll it
I'm
twice
helping.
here.
Let me wait.
Oh, that's a good roll. What's the next one?
16. You do better if you roll.
16?
Yes.
All right. Kind of looks you up and down a little bit. I didn't know giants went on vacation. That sounds like fun. Well, I'll have to tell the mayor, but it sounds like you've taken care of everything, and the giant was the one who was causing this, and you parlayed with them, and they're not gonna cause any more blizzards.
Yeah, they're happy to. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, it had just been a while since the giant had been in town, and so we discussed with the giant that people live here, and that sort of storm, it could be dangerous to the people on the mountain and the people in Sten's Gap.
It could be worth knowing. Also, they although they are shy and a bit nervous around folks. They did say, well, they didn't say per se, but their hospitality portrays that they would be willing to form a connection should there need to be an outreach. And I mean, I'm happy to be the personal spokesman for this regarding that situation if you felt it was necessary. Are you laughing?
I'm laughing at Shanks in the chat.
Here, and I have a sugar cube.
Thank you.
Household's hair. I'm supposed to say, you already have a relationship with this entity. We might. I'm gonna have to run this by the mayor, of course.
Whoa! Sorry. what's the nature of this relationship?
Well, you talked to the giant,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, but you
that's-
said you got a relationship.
no, I said you do.
Oh, sorry. I misunderstood. Sorry, that's on me. Yes, I
I can't go ahead.
it's blossoming, I believe. Blossoming person.
Well, whatever it is, I can't appoint you as an ambassador on my own. I'm gonna have to talk to the mayor. But Storm's gone. You're back. I guess it makes sense. You talked to Giant into changing the weather. Awesome.
Yeah.
I have some money for you. And she starts
When you-
counting out. She starts counting out the reward, 1,000 gold pieces.
Aneth is also
It's all
trying
in
to
copper.
learn. You're trying to learn through this experience.
She counts out 100 platinum pieces, and while that's happening, is there anything you would like to accomplish while you're in City Hall? We will transfer over to Team Alexandra.
Does City Hall have? She's an archivist, right? So they
Mhm.
might have records on this Vamir.
Well, they might. You could ask.
Do you mind if I ask if you have any records on an individual named Vamir? And we can use this time to transition to the other.
Sounds good. And she's like, Vamir.
That sounds familiar.
Oh my god.
Ow.
Can I kill him?
I respect it, but I hated it.
Hank, hold on. My dog wants it out. Hank, go on.
So,
Don't talk to Hank like that.
outside of where Alexandra is, which I assume is just the mining guild, Lyris is like,
It was a tavern that I forgot the name of, and I need to look
that
up. The
tavern.
Orvain.
Which, yeah,
but I
or
didn't see
yeah.
anything written down about it, and so was it the
It's the
Orvain?
Orvain.
It
yeah.
was the Orvain.
Oh, okay, that's where Toman is the barkeep.
Yes.
I also wrote that.
We got this. We're so prepared. I didn't write down what the reward for this would be. Only
I don't
that she
think
hired us for it.
I don't think she said.
But so here's the thing: we're going to downplay the fact that some of her men got killed, and upplay the fact that the one who survived was found and rescued by us.
She's looking at you, and you're really not sure if she's tracking what you're saying, but she is like looking at you blankly, kind of
And-
tilting her head.
And before we ask for our reward, I need you to, do that thing where you're giving all sorts of compliments and you're very, charming and all that.
You mean be myself?
Well, yes, but play it up a little bit if you can.
Okay, it's kind of like when
Interesting.
Anath and I were putting on a little ruse and being kind of extra fancy. You want me to be extra nice?
Exactly. We want to endear her to us so that we can get the maximum amount from her.
Okay, I can do that.
Perfect. So we head in, and I'm still only like 50% sure Cam knows the plan.
So you enter in to the Orvain, which is the largest tavern in town, even so it's still not very big. Sten's Gap is a pretty small community. And when you enter, you see sitting at the back in the same booth where you originally met her, the jade green tiefling with big chunks of crystal growing out of her forehead where you would normally expect horns, is Alexandra Caspery. And sitting next to her is one familiar looking Garrett, a man who you pulled out of an avalanche a couple days ago.
Perfect. That's very good timing, Garrett.
It looks like he made it back to town, and He's got his back to you, but Alexandra is always keeping an eye out over the tavern, and she sees you enter in. She picks up her tankard and raises it up to you and says, "Ha! The savior of the stone divers return," and kind of elbows Garrett a little bit. Ow. He's got one of his arms in a sling. Oh, sorry. But is enjoying a beverage with his other hand and turns to look at you and says, and joins in the cheer. Just, gentlemen, a round of drinks for well, I guess these two. Where are the rest of you?
Oh, we had other business to close in town, but very much appreciative. If I think we are in a bit of a rush, but they may join us here if they finish their business quickly.
Oh, if I know Wade, he's probably looking into something that's extensive, that involves extensive research. So he does that almost everywhere that we stop that might have things like that. But I'm sure we have time for a drink, especially for some people who are so lovely and beautiful. She looks at, she glances at Lyris for approval.
He gives her a nod, yep, you're doing perfect.
And thank you for referring to us as heroes. We actually just came up with a name for ourselves too, if you want to spread the word.
Oh, certainly. What shall we call you?
What was it again? She looks over at her.
We have taken the name the Heralds of the Storm, and he kind of brandishes his insignia.
Very fitting. You've even got a logo already.
Yes, we sort of fell into good circumstances.
Huh. And she kind of looks like she's off in some memories somewhere. I remember when our adventuring party named us.
What was your adventuring party?
Well, it's neither here nor. Let's talk about you and how you have. I can't really impress upon you enough that you have seemingly not only rescued one of my men. Very tragic what has happened to the rest of them. But you have saved the well-being of much of this town by controlling the weather, it seems.
Yes, well, we've made a friend who has agreed to keep the blizzard contained for the time being.
Ah, well, even better.
Though, I may have some questions for you, but may I take a seat?
Oh, please, yes, sit, join us. And this time, some flagons of ale arrive.
Cam tries her best to be sitting next to Alexandra. Even if she has to push Lyris out of the way.
I got the impression they were at opposite ends, so we can probably also go opposite ends, right?
It's kind of it's a round table in the back. It's one of those circular booths at the VIP area.
And is she at one end of the booth, or is
she's in the far back in the middle? So you could get next to her if you wanted to. There is a side open.
Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, so Cam, even if Lyris isn't trying, she just she's so fascinated by these horns.
But he's not gonna openly fight for it.
Oh, sorry, Lyris. Then she just kind of slides over into the booth.
That's all right. Don't mention it. And then he just quickly points at her and goes, "Why?" But I may have some questions for you. But can we just conclude this business before we open up any new business?
Oh, of course.
You're such a pleasure to work with.
That is true. It's I used to hunt bounties down in Crystal Harbor, and well, most of the people who post them are unpleasant and uncouth, and none of them nearly as fair as you.
Well, I've always found that it's a lot easier to get people to do things for you if they like you, rather than if they're afraid of you. That works for a little while, but not forever.
That's a very good point. Well, let me just officially say then that the Heralds of the Storm like you, and we would like to continue to do business.
The Stone Divers are appreciative of the Heralds of the Storm. They're looking at you.
Well, we were hoping to receive payment for the return of your stone diver and discovering the details of his journey. Oh, actually, while I'm at it, Garrett, you look like you're still unwell. Would you like some help?
He looks down. It's like, I'm feeling much better than I was, but if you've got something that could fix up this broken this broken arm that I've got here, that'd be pretty swell.
He extends his hand towards him and closes his eyes and says something that sounds like a torrent of a river just rushing through the building. And as he says it, he casts Healing Word. Or that would be 7 hit points.
And you can kind of feel this. You can feel the magic work on the fracture in his arm, and it looks a little bit apprehensive while it's happening, but you've already saved his life once, so it'll give you the benefit of the doubt there. After that, looks down, and all of the abrasions and things on his arm and the rest of his body have sealed up, and he takes the sling off and sit around. Well, it's like, how about that? Man, that is a very useful trick.
It comes in handy. I've had to mend a few of my bones over the years.
I just keep getting more indebted to you. What do you say, Alex? Let's throw him some coin at least for their trouble. Of course. Of course. Appropriate compensation for a job well done. Now, I can give you some coin. I can stone divers, awash in gemstones. If there's anything in particular you're looking for, I know you've got some casters in your party, and there can be some valuable stones that can be hard to get hold of if you would rather have payment in that than coin.
Well, valuable gemstones would potentially work for either or in that either or, no pun intended. If you're awash in gems, then perhaps that might be easiest. Cam, do you require any particularly valuable gems for your casting?
I'm looking quickly.
I think you might want to look at Revivify.
There's so many spells in my list. Okay, there we go. In a dire situation, a diamond, though it has to be worth quite a bit. I don't know how much you have to spare. It could potentially save one of our lives, and that would be, kind of a fair compensation, right?
I should think so. Now, does it have to be a singular diamond, or just going to be any amount of diamonds?
That's a good question.
That might depend on the DM, to be honest.
No, it does say diamonds.
It's any amount of diamonds.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
It is any amount. As long as it is equal to 300 gold pieces.
300 gold pieces worth of diamonds. I think that is a fair price for rescuing Garrett here and helping bring an end to this storm, which I know you've already or are in the process of being compensated for, I assume. I know there was a bounty out for that.
Well, yes, but we've also enabled the stone divers to get back to work, and Garrett can get back to work immediately now that I've healed his arm.
Now here, let me just give me one moment. And she listens around for a second and then turns around and points towards the back wall, and anyone who has magic can recognize this as a casting of sending, or of message, excuse me.
I cast it a few seconds ago.
And she'll it's like, oh yeah, I just let somebody in the back there know that your diamonds will be here in a few minutes.
Perfect.
So it looks like we do have time for a drink then.
Indeed. And do you have I don't know, anything that might be useful to us going forward beyond that?
Useful beyond that. Well, we already outfitted you for the climb. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
Oh, you know, typical adventure stuff. Items of magical significance, or
Well, I'll tell you what. We're a little bit light on potions and magic items, things like that. We sent several of the convoys that have been attempting to take supplies up to the mines through the blizzard. It took up a lot of those to better their chances. But if you check in at Leo's place, that's the merchant that she sent you to.
Yes, Benson's General.
Yeah, if you check in with Leo and let him know that you're you're a friend of the Stone Divers officially, I'm sure he'll give you whatever good deals he can. But I know that his stock is a little bit light at the moment.
Of course, circumstances being what they are. Well, with that matter closed, then I was wondering, do you know anything about what the mines you're working in were before they were mines?
Let's see. Actually, well, most of them were just solid rock.
That's fair.
Before we dug the hole.
That seems reasonable. However, there are some other caves within the mountain that we understand may have once housed a dragon.
A dragon? Up in these mountains? I haven't heard any. Been no stories of dragon activity around here as long as I've been alive.
Well, interestingly put. It's come to our attention that it may have been gone for as much as 200 years.
200 years. Well, we've never struck anything that I would describe as being a dragon's horde, if that's what you're insinuating.
I am not. That's although now that you mention it, could be a beneficial joint venture.
If there is dragon treasure hidden in the mountain, it would be
but I would imagine
money would make a lot of difference.
Indeed. But had you come across any sort of cave system or cavern system that was there before you began to dig, you probably would have found it by now. And
well, we've hit some pockets of naturally occurring cavern, and nothing connected to the outside through anything more than a small trickling subterranean river or a very small aperture.
Indeed. Well, that's probably good news then, because there are some who are considering allowing the dragon to return. And I don't know as of yet how dangerous that may be for you and the Stone Divers.
Now do you know where this dragon is?
I do not.
Cap's like drinking.
Yeah, she's doing the sip.
Because you weren't there when they dropped it off, but
I was
think
not.
I don't remember if any. Yeah, they told you that that's what they did.
They
But-
told me that it was that they had given it to someone in Crystal Harbor, but that's hardly knowing where it is.
Yeah, that's technically correct. I'm gonna say make a deception check anyway.
Oh, cast guidance.
Hey, Cam can assist and cast guidance if
Dude.
you would like.
Yeah, she's like,
So, yeah.
yeah, she just kind of like places a hand on Lyris and is just like, yeah, yes, we don't.
Yeah, so make that with advantage and add a D4.
Okay, so that's 12, unfortunately.
Well, perturbing news. I should not like to have to deal with a dragon, but
That was my thinking as well.
we will be on the lookout. I'll make sure that if any of the stone divers come across something that could be a natural cavern system or anything like that, any signs of dragon activity,
Well,
it won't catch us by surprise.
my current thinking is that I don't like the idea of allowing this to happen, but I'm not sure I'm in a position to stop it. And should it happen anyway, well, if your people could observe and stay back, we'd be willing to negotiate a price for slaying of the dragon.
Yeah, look at this guy. Thinks he can take on a dragon. I appreciate your confidence.
Well, I mean, we've taken on giants, and I alone have taken on sea hags and ogres and, many creatures.
Impressive. Well, let's hope your confidence isn't misplaced, but let's hope more than all else that the dragon talk is just rumor.
Agreed. It would be best to not fight a dragon, could we avoid it, but should it get loose, we would appreciate your assistance in tracking it and, identifying
Should it
its
get
fate.
loose, being quite honest, I should predict that the entire resources of all of the cities in the surrounding area will be interested in tracking it.
Potentially true, yes. Though, what limited knowledge I have of dragons, it may not be intending to fly around torching cities. It may just want to curl up in its lair, and if its lair is intruded upon by miners, they may be at the most risk.
What is it exactly you're asking for? Says Lyris.
Just that they would share information should it get free and give us first dibs on the contract. On the other hand, I've heard that some dragons are even quite reasonable.
I'll tell you what, if the Stone Divers puts out their own contract on a dragon, we'll give you first pass on it. Now, I suspect that if anything like that happens, usually in this sort of circumstance, the city would be the one putting out the bounty, and all of the associated guilds and any other concerned parties would contribute to the total bounty to kind of centralize the effort.
Oh,
But
that
it
does
sounds
make
like
sense.
you're probably already in good with Thembus.
That is true. You obviously have eyes all around town, don't you?
Well, it's not hard to notice when a blizzard goes away.
That's fair. But yes, we've been doing what good work we can, where we can.
It's good. That's good. We need. It's nice to meet some adventurers for hire that try to do the right thing.
Yeah, well, we have lofty goals, or at least I do, and kind of obligates me to help as many as I can.
I drink to that. She raised you up for a cheers, and
Yeah, he chugs it down.
about at this time, a young dwarf comes out with a small cloth bag, and he said, Alexandra says, "You need some diamonds, boss." Got him. Throws them down on the table. Anything else? Nothing right now. And
collects it.
just gives Alexandra a kind of a gruff nod and turns around and goes back to whatever it was doing before he got messaged.
And those will satisfy your spellcasting requirements?
She's like looking through it all with her large eyes right now, like popping out of her head. Not even counting it at first, and then she's like, "Oh yes, spellcasting. Yes, it will." And she like ties the pouch up and she puts it in her. Actually, I guess I should ask you: does it look like enough?
Yeah, it looks
Okay.
like enough. It looks
Alright.
like enough for a casting of Revivify.
Well, then she puts it away. Thank you so much.
Of course, and thank you.
It was our pleasure. You don't by any chance have any other needs while we're here?
Not at the moment. The biggest issue we've been having is not being able to get supplies to or from the mines, but now that the blizzard has gone away, we're able to dig out the roads, and things are starting to get back to normal.
Good then. Should you need us, actually, I don't know.
And where can we get in touch with you?
He just kind of looks at Cam to see if she has any ideas.
I mean, I can get in touch with you.
Should we maybe schedule to check in with you at a certain point?
Well, let's see. It seems like it would be more efficient if I could reach out to you. I'm sure we can figure something out. Is there do you have a base of operations? Do you have an inn that you stay at, a house in town?
The only thing that Cam could think of is like Wade's house that she crashes at. So she's like, I mean, we do end up resting in Crystal Harbor at my friend Wade's house. And she just kind of describes where that is too.
We do also intend to return to the mountain in the near future.
All right, well, if you're, feel free to stop by and check in if ever you're in town. If I'm not here, I'll be back soon. But if we need you, I'll send some notice to this Wade in Crystal Harbor.
That sounds fantastic. And, well, perhaps next time I am in town, if I'm not pressed for time, we could share a drink together.
There's always a drink for you here.
Good to know. And he gets up and leaves, and he's like, I didn't make it clear enough.
Did we decide where we were going to meet up with them?
Nope.
Let's
Okay.
go find Little Joe.
All right. Well, we'll let Wade do what he's doing, and we'll just head off towards the stable, I guess.
Yeah, so you were asking Thembus about, who was it now?
Veneer.
Venereal.
Veneer. Veneer. Oh, bounced out of my dice tray. Oh. That name sounds very familiar. I can't quite place it. I've only been in town here for, I guess about 50 years now.
Oh,
So I could do some research and see if there's anything in the records. Nothing coming to mind immediately. Is that tell me anything more about this person? What they might be connected with somehow? Something to base some research.
He was connected with the Hall of Weave, correct? And just the Hall of Weave in general. I don't think they know about the annexes.
The hall. Well, you'd be better off. You'd be better off checking any sort of archives in Crystal. Oh, are you wearing your like regular robes right now?
I don't know. Is it cold outside?
A little bit.
I'd probably still be wearing the
I think it's
warm
wearing-
winter
Okay.
gear.
We know
Okay.
it's not acid outside, so
Yeah, it's not aciding outside right now.
in a full hazmat suit.
Say no, you'd be better off checking in with the Hall of Weave themselves. They'd be pretty secretive a lot with their records. And
Have you? Okay, on that makes sense. What about any records on dragons in the area over there?
Dragons in the area. Let me think now. Knowing what I know about dragons, if there was any active in the area, we'd certainly be hearing about it. They tend to like to
Yeah,
lord
dragon.
over populations and things like that. But
I was thinking more in a historical sense.
in a historical sense, now I mean,
Like-
there's been
Recent history, maybe.
recent
we're not-
history of
I
dragons.
think recent history might be more helpful. We're just dragon fanatics, you see, and we're just
Right.
eager to.
You're not
Yeah.
with that cult, are you?
No.
All
I'd like to hear more than the cult, but like, no.
Is it a
my
bad
friend.
cult?
That's
Is
what
that something we
people
need to
who
be
would
on the lookout
cults
for?
would say.
No cults here. Just
All right, I just had to check.
intrigued.
I just
Yeah,
had
no,
to check. I know dragons. Sometimes here,
No, it's like it's protocol. I understand these situations.
yeah, they some of them. I hear there's some dragon far to the west. There's a story well past the other side of Yonora that
You understand
had some
what-
activities a few like 100 years ago or something like that. Tried to start up a little cult, but nothing nearby. I think though there would be some places that, if I was a dragon, I like to see things, big sort of views over the area. It'd probably be at the top of a mountain, maybe the tallest mountain. That's where I'd look for a dragon.
Tallest man. Look.
I don't. I was personally thinking more in a historical sense. If you could also look for records of a dragon, and any records of dragons in these mountains historically,
Yeah,
Alright.
a local area.
like a few, 2 or 3 centuries ago, maybe a little
Yeah.
bit more, depending on how long the dragon's been
Recent's
around.
relative, Yeah, like it's.
Well,
it's what,
there's not a lot of history from that time, especially in our archives. We got, sure, there was the Great War with the warlord at Fort Oss about 300 years ago, and well, Sten's Gap got hit pretty hard in the march onto Zemali. We don't have a whole lot that exists that predates that, or onto Crystal Harbor. But
See,
some things survived. I'll see what I can dig up. If there's anything around, I'll find it.
Yeah, no,
thanks.
I appreciate that. Well, we appreciate that. Sorry, my mistake. Was there anything else you wanted to ask Wade?
No. Nope. Is there anything else that the cities, anything else that the city's got like a contract out for, or other work?
Well, that storm was the big one. We got a lot of cleanup to do after that. If you want to help lay down new roads and haul supplies and things, it doesn't pay as well as controlling the weather, but does pay.
Well, to be controlling the weather is pretty expensive work. Yeah, no,
That's
understandable.
why we paid you 1,000
Well,
gold for it.
No, I appreciate it. I'm not dissing your rewards. I'm just. Yo, wait, you wanna
I don't think I'm physically.
No,
I
this will
don't
build up
think-
your strength too. To like, you lay one road, you get the strength to build 2 roads, and with those 2 roads, you can build 4, and you only get stronger like that. Simple maths, really.
How about we talk about this on the way to meeting?
Yeah, no, yeah.
our
You
friends?
you just tell us, fella, like what
Walk a
jobs
dog,
you
walk a
like.
dog.
You give us your contract.
Thank you,
well,
Fembus. Bye.
Bye!
you just let us know if there's anything that you need us to do, and we'll discuss. We'll convene with the group.
Like
Nice
fully
fella.
outside by now.
Yeah. Just knocked the door into another gnome and killed him. No! Oh, they gotta fix these hinges, man. Wait, you got grease or something like that? You got some.
I
got some
think
dual
it's
magic.
just your natural strength there, Anath.
But I ain't laid no roads before.
I mean, you don't know how many roads you can lay until you've tried, right?
Yeah, I know, but like, I haven't even tried, you know. So like, I mean, if I had to quantify, maybe two roads.
You did break through a window. That's gotta be worth something.
Yeah, but it's like, if you know how to propel yourself like a bullet or like a rocket or something, or like a cannonball, you can go
But
through any.
it takes strength to do that, right?
It's gravity and momentum, really. You just like launch yourself and like.
It's so.
I just saw that. That's so good. Yeah, no, it's like we're walking. Would we walk past the stables?
Yeah, so you meet back up with the party. You both approach on the Gilded Mane, roughly around the same time.
Did you?
You guys want to
Were
wait?
you-
Roads? Sorry, go wait. Sorry.
They're both like, "Are you guys okay?"
You? How did it go?
It went
We
pretty
good?
well.
We got a bunch of shiny things.
They weren't just shiny things. We got diamonds, 300 gold worth.
Oh my lord!
That's good. Did you talk to them about the because they were interested in the structure or whatever structure that they saw within the storm, which was presumably
I decided
Alvitende's
to
castle.
keep that to ourselves.
I don't think we
That's
should go
fair.
around telling people about other people's homes. She says.
You might be a bit late. I mean, we did. I offered to be correspondent for Alvitende. It might be a bit late for that. But speaking of shiny things, here's your cut as he hands you 10 gold each.
But why are you?
Yeah.
There's
Either
a
this
lot more to.
pouch is going to get a lot heavier, or there's going to be a different
Are
kind
those-
of cut happening.
Are those? Is that gold coming from your own pocket? Because we were
Oh.
paying.
I did specifically say that she gave you 100 platinum.
Sorry, my
that's
mistake.
what-
He gives you 1 platinum each.
Okay, you're starting to count, and I think that's 24 more per person, Anath.
Yeah, but like the one, like look at this. He starts putting them down in 4 different piles. Like it don't make sense.
It
As it's
doesn't make
equal.
sense.
I think it's just canon that Anath is bad at math.
Yeah, like, no, just look at, wait, look at this. Look at these 4 piles and tell me this don't make sense to you. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah, there's 25 pieces per.
Oh, so you don't know how to read or do math, Anath?
He knows how to read wingdings, right?
No, I
I think
can't-
you
I can't
specifically
read
didn't know.
wingdings. Yeah, no, I can't read wingdings. I can't read.
He did have a hard time counting to 1 earlier. That should have been A clear sign.
Yeah, no, see exactly. And he hands you one platinum each. Again.
Now you keep doing that until you've run out of coins.
Okay.
Well, actually, no,
yeah.
that's not totally correct. You're going to confuse him because then he'll be left with no coins.
Well, he's dividing it into 4,
But you
Yeah.
told him
To
to
be fair,
do
there's
that
two-
until he had no more coins.
and then
But
he
there's
can
two
take
missing,
one
yeah.
of the 4 piles.
Oh,
But
okay.
there's 2 missing. Maths. If I
Are
split them
those-
into 4. 2 missing.
Are you talking about the 2 you gave us?
No. I'm just saying. Like, I'm not counting because I don't know how to do that. But like, if give me them, give me Imbo back. Give me him.
Oh my gosh.
As he starts handing them back. And like, this is me IRL doing the math. I'm pretty sure there's like there's 100 gold, 200 gold missing. If he's given everyone an equal cut, because you can't cut platinum unless he cuts.
So
the
everyone
plat-
gets 200 and everyone gets 25 platinum if you're splitting it equally.
Wait, what?
Yep. That's what we're doing.
Oh, then never mind, sorry. He's just giving you 4 coins. Is what I thought in my head. Not only does Anna
So it-
not
so
know
it's
math,
a user error problem.
it's also
It's a
someone
character.
doesn't. I'm method acting is actually what's happening.
Oh,
So yeah,
God.
okay.
Have you ever played cards enough?
Yeah, all the time.
Do you know how you divvy out the cards when playing, right?
Yeah.
It's just like that. Make sure everybody gets a card, and then you keep going around until there are no more cards.
Except the net always ends up looking like that Uno meme, just like 27 cards.
He like when there's draw 4, he just picks up. He just keeps picking. You don't stop. He just keeps going
He just gets out
until
a
someone tells him. Yeah.
piece of charcoal and draws 4
It's like
illustrations.
1, 1, 1. I haven't gotten to 4 yet. 1.
7.
Just what's this weird 1 and an angle?
Oh,
Yeah, no,
goodness.
He divvies it out. He's still perplexed. It's like, let me see what his intelligence is. Oh yeah, no, it's 10.
It's not bad.
Not as bad as it could be.
I
Yeah,
mean, 10 is like the average person.
Just a guy.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean to be fair, George
Cam's
actually
a
said
7.
Anyway, we've got our coin.
Like the she can count. Goodness,
And we paid for
And
it's
like,
relative. Yeah.
a full week for boarding Little Joe, didn't we?
You did. It's been about 3 days.
I thought we did double. It's because the net was worried.
Yes, this is correct.
I don't remember what
I
that
did what,
cost
sorry?
us.
We had to
Yeah.
pay double for the horse because you were worried a week wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Not
I
losing Little
was pretty
Joe.
sure. Yeah. Lil Joe might just go on like vacation for a week with the Nath for some reason. And Nath goes missing coincidentally at the same time. It's so weird how it happens, you know? But yeah, no. We paid for 2 weeks of Little Joe.
Do we remember what the cost of that
It
was?
was 3 gold a week, and the stable was the gilded mean.
Fair enough. Well, okay. Well,
Did we pay up front? I imagine
Yeah,
we
we
would have had to
definitely
have
did.
paid.
Yeah,
I
it
think we
was.
did, yeah.
It was Lyris that paid it.
I doubt I'm getting that back. But
He hands you 1 coin.
what kind of coin?
Platinum.
Seriously? I'll take it. Yeah, I'll
And-
add it to my sheet.
That will cover the week of. That will cover it.
That covers
Yeah.
the 2 weeks and then some. But,
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, well,
Nine.
thank you, Anath. I wasn't looking for a payout, but
I mean, like, well, yes. You help me, I help you.
Should we go get little Joe then?
Yes. Let's get my mans.
She kind of picks up her pace and
I'm here for the homies, man.
So I think we can leave it at the stables here, as if this sounds good to all the characters. Anath wanting Little Joe to get the most of the money out of his 2-week-long spa trip, as the rest of the party heads off out of town to find the flying spire of Alvitende's castle, that has gone missing